So last time out we did quite a lot of genuinely, well, vaguely by my standards anyway, deep analysis to try to figure out what exactly was going wrong in certain positions in the team. And it was, as I suspected, down to the personnel that we'd acquired, and it just wasn't the right types of players. But I do feel like we've started to put ourselves on the pathway to rectifying those issues currently. But today we're going to be bobbing through the final 11 games of the season. There's a cup in there as well to find out will we manage to qualify for Europe this year. And also on top of that, there's a youth intake. It's rated A. We've apparently got some wingbacks in there. This is going to be an exciting one. So buckle up. As always, of course, if you have been enjoying the series up to this point, do be sure to smash a like on the video. It really helps out the channel and all that good stuff. But before we get into the video properly, FM23 was finally announced yesterday with the release date of November 8th. And every single year, without fail, someone always asks me, is there any way that I can get myself a discount? And this year, for once, I can finally say yes. Because I've teamed up with the guys over at Fanatical to get you guys a discount on the game. You get the standard pre-order discount that's available across all other platforms. You'll get your Steam code delivered at the moment that the game is released. And of course, full beta access. But in this case, you'll be able to get an extra 5% off of the game if you use the code FM23YELLOW at checkout from the link that you'll see in the top line of the description. I'm excited about the new game and I hope you guys are as well. But now we move our attention back to the present. It's not ideal. We were still predicted 9th this year, but you know how much we tend to overperform. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not closer to the European places. But I do feel like now the left wing back spot was the biggest issue for this team in many ways. There's still other issues too, but I think that was definitely one big issue for us. And I think just solving that is going to enable us to just up our PPG over the remaining 11 matches of the season. And I still believe that top 5 is potentially possible because it's going to be tough, but I still feel like the likes of Häcken and Västerås could potentially fall out of that and allow a space for the likes of us and Djurgården to sneak in there as well, maybe. I don't know. And on the situation with the teams sort of not putting stuff on the bench sometimes, unfortunately, there is nothing I can do about it. I don't have the editor switched on for this save. I have editors banned from all of my content related saves basically, just because it's not worth it to have on because it just pulls into question anything you do in a save. If I find a good player and then someone could just be like, oh, you've just edited that player. So it's not worth having that sort of stuff switched on. So I couldn't even edit them to have like homegrown players or anything like that, unfortunately. It's an unforeseen circumstances of apparently the Swedish leagues not being tested properly. It sucks, but it's just the situation we're in. What I do find weird though is that this is the first season that I've actually noticed this happen despite us managing in Sweden for multiple years. So maybe it'll only affect this year. He said hopefully. But for today, we travel away to bottom of the league Helsingborg. This is a great opportunity for us. We won the last game fairly comfortably against Kalmar. Apologies for the lack of the proper live comment at the end there, but it was a very good performance from us. I want to see that again. And honestly, I don't know if I want to change the team at all, but we'll just see what my assistant says, because he's always got ideas, as you can see, including dropping Dudau, because the man is a lunatic apparently. So I think that's what we're going to go with. Lindström on the left, Martin on the right, because he has that additional height. And I feel like as much as Castilla is good, I feel like Martin just offers us something more like Christopher Carlson. But I really do feel like the next step towards transfers for us has to be probably trying to find an out-and-out striker that suits us. I like Victor Lindström, but I feel like he's being held back by some of his player traits. Because as much as he's an advanced forward, he also has comes deep to get ball and a few things that I'm not entirely sure are becoming of the player we really want in that role. That being said, he has still done very well, but you can see how much he's overperformed his XG this year. It concerns me because I don't feel like that's sustainable at that level. I'm desperate to see us put a good performance in here. They actually have a bench as well, which is fun. We just need to get another win under our belt and keep that momentum moving. But it will depend on what we do today. I trust these guys, and I want to see us just have a better PPG over the final 11 games of this season than we have over the first 19. I think that for me would show the upward trajectory that I'm looking for as Kawasi slides a lovely tackle in. You might notice the skin looks a tiny bit different, using an updated version of Renzi's skin that I normally use with a few additions that have been custom added for me, one of which I will try to show you off once we're in between matches because I think it's really cool. Firing one long. Oh, not again. Not another one like that. And it's a beautiful stop from Makacek. God, defenders and missing random headers. What a combination. We're being patient with it. I like it. And he thought about the shot. Dudau! Big shot from Dudau. And it's coming back around again. He's going to have another go and it's blocked again. Oh, I love his forward potential here. It's good for Fana. Oh, it's a great ball cross for Sharnora, and it's a great save again as the fullbacks combine. Half time, and it's actually ended up quite an even match, despite Helsingborg seemingly having nothing but a couple of corners, really. I think almost all of that XG is corners, but from that one chance at the start of the match. Best player on the pitch for us, really, is Alexander Dudau. It's crazy what one position, what tiny tweaks can do to make a player play better, or to make that position work for us. But I think we are going to have to adjust things. They're keeping too much possession. And for Fana. Kouassi, here we go. There's a run. It's Juan Martin, the American. It's a good save from Montecinos. Much better from us, though, in that sense. Kouassi. Martin! Oh, this one, it does count. Juan Martin. Finally, we get a striker in that position to actually score from a corner. Helsingborg 0, Örebro 1. We've looked better at the start of the second half, and we just needed a set piece. Let me guess. We get a second one straight away. Jorge's ball. It is. Not directly from him, but it is actually going to be Trifunovic with the goal. Jorge with the assist somehow, even though it came off the defender. 2-0 to Örebro. Of course it is. I've substituted Duda now, given that we're 2 goals to the good. And he was on a 7.5 though when we substituted him, which is, I think, a pretty good record for 66 minutes of play. So I'll take that from him. Carjaneo is such an important player for these guys. Jesus. And, that's not a foul. Such an annoying goal to concede this will be. A cease. And it's, well, nearly saved by Makacek, and suddenly Helsingborg have been gifted away back into this match out of nothing. Order. Also, a lovely run from Tudor Jorge off the bench. Fresh into the action. Back inside for Martin, and it's Oscar Seeger off the bench with his first of the season. I decided to bring him on for a little bit as Lindstrom was struggling, and now it's 3-1 here, and Martin, I don't know. I just think something about the way he links the play up. I love it. Erlendsson and Dye, Seeger, so many runs being made. And it's Martin again over the bar. Well, it looks like it is going to be Helsingborg 1, Örebro 3, which is, completely fine by me. I wanted to come here, grab that victory for us. I think teams around us have lost as well, which is going to help us in that position too. And good defending there. And it's 3-1. Helsingborg 1, Örebro 3. In the end, I think we thoroughly deserved the victory. We really stepped it up in the second half a little bit, albeit had to rely on those set pieces, but it's nice to be able to rely on them occasionally. I think Martin is definitely the man for that job though, because he can do the stuff from set pieces like Christopher Carlson, and he just holds and links up that play really nicely. I still think this team is missing that out-and-out striker that can be prolific, but that really helps. Erlendsson, you'll see, really struggled when he came on in that spot, whereas Dudas was on a 7.6 when I took him off. But with that, we move up to 6th spot in the league. We're only 3 points off of the European spots and 5th, and have a better goal difference than one of the teams in there, as it looks like EK Sirius, no, they did win. They both won, in fact. We go above Djurgården and Degerfors with that win today as well. I think we're looking very good for 8th. I feel like is the lowest we finished this season, but I still feel like if we get the right points together over this period, I think there's a strong chance that we can catch up that gap and hopefully get top 5, which would still be a fantastic achievement for us this season. It could well be a historic record finish for all I know, but we move. So I mentioned that I was using a slightly different version of the skin. It's just an updated version of Renzi's skin, but it adds one thing that I think is really, really important and actually will help expedite the scouting method that you probably all know about by now from the other videos. So this might help if you use that. So basically what I've got added in it, and I say as if I did anything. This was all the work of Sazman, so big shout out to him. But basically, it adds a knowledge level percentage. And this is kind of useful, because as much as you can see the knowledge level, sort of, by the bar under the scouting rating, you're not actually able to filter by that value, because when you filter by this, it filters by the scouting rating and not how much knowledge you have of the player. And the great thing about this is, it means that if I now set it like the way I've got it right now, it's going to show all the players that we have the most knowledge of at the top, regardless of their rating, which is beautiful, because it means if you've got full knowledge now, you know that, and you can just expedite your way through it. So you know that guys at the bottom, you can just send round again without having to think too much about it, but you can then start working on, it's basically just a great way of triaging things, and I think it really, really helps and just makes things that little bit easier. So Lindstrom to Duda out on the left-hand side now. Can he find something incisive? Finds Jorge, goes for goal, and it's Lindstrom, and there we go. We do finally take the lead. I mean, we've had some good chances, so have they, but it's Norrköping 0, Örebro 1. Lovely stuff there from us on the counter-attack, but this game could have plenty more goals. Norrköping are very unlucky to be behind in this game. They've had some great opportunities, and we've actually dealt with it quite well at the moment. How is that a penalty? Some of the things that we're getting penalties given against us for lately are utterly bizarre, and that's a second game in a row now where we've had a pretty soft one. Good lord. Kouassi. So Jorge, right, we need that run for Babacar Cisse, and he's found it. Cisse's in. Could he pull off a ridiculous goal here for us? And yes, he can! It's Norrköping 1, Örebro 2. So I think I figured something out on this second half here. Basically, Lindstrom, the reason we don't get so many great attacks going a lot of the time with Lindstrom is because of the fact that he keeps dropping deep. He's not stretching defenses and allowing us to get those expansive passes, whereas Cisse sits on the shoulder of the last defender. Lindstrom has his moments, and he's great when we're in those little poachy box situations, but that's not really how this tactic functions, and I still feel like someone like Cisse is the answer to our prayers. I think we're about to get a red card here, and yep, Garcia is about to get red carded. Great. I don't know if we hold on to this now. 3 minutes left. We'd be very... What on earth? Oh, I give up. Like, I realise we're down to 10 men, but that is just shameful. Why is he doing that? There's a pass that... That's not where the... Bear in mind, our goalkeeper is set to distribute to the centre-backs. So who is he distributing that to, exactly? As it goes, I don't actually think we deserve to win the game, but once we put ourselves in that 2-1 position, and I'd set ourselves up to just basically kill the rest of this match off, to then concede a goal like that is very annoying. But yeah, Norrköping were very, very good, especially in that first half. They were very, very good. We've all that's like laptop out the window type of goal to concede. Such an annoying goal to concede. The worst thing about it, of course, is it would have kept us in 6th spot. We'd have only been 1 point off of 5th and 2 points off of 4th with that win there, had we got it. Yeah, the fact that we got the red card, literally the moment we scored the second goal, it was like, that was when it all went wrong. So we had a midweek cup game. I decided to sort of rotate the squad around a little bit. Did start Cisse, though. Scored a hat-trick in this one, which was pretty damn solid in the first half an hour, including goals in like 2 minutes at one point. Also, all 3 of his goals was him going through and then dinking the ball over the goalkeeper. Man loves a dink. What can I say? Okay, so with our scouting being genuinely a bit snail-paced at the moment, we have got 1 more scout now. We're up to 6. 2 more scouting reports have sort of finalized to the point where I feel like I kind of want to go after potentially both of them, but especially this guy. This is Nicholas Kyriakou. He's a Cypriot international already at the age of 18. Wingback. The key thing about him, driven personality, which is awesome. High acceleration, reasonable pace. Very Kyrilainen-esque. Great determination. Marking is solid. Positioning is not too bad either. Has okay tackling. Crossing and dribbling are fine as well. I feel like he's the perfect foil on the right-hand side to be the answer to the prayers. I say that a lot lately, but it feels like if we could have him on the right and our other friendo on the left-hand side, Dudal, I think that would be the 2 that we need to go forward with this. And they'd both be homegrown in a couple of seasons. And I just think this guy's the tits. And if we could sign him, it could be... Even if it costs us a bit of money, I think it would be worth it already. I'll be honest, I thought it was going to cost more than that. It's 500 up front, 575 over 3 years for a total of 1.1 million pounds. I was prepared to pay 2 outright, like flat fee of 2 million, but that is way better. I think if we can get this deal done, he won't join us till the next window anyway, but I think he could be a really big port of call for us. And our other friend here is Molisi Radebe, South African centre-back. 13 jumping reach, 6'2", 17 tackling as well, which is extremely nice as a base because everything else can be improved over that. But that tackling is just a number that very rarely goes up. So having it so high to start with really makes me happy. And if we could get him cheap, I would really like to bring him in as well. So they've gone for 150 up front and then 200 over 3 years. I'm actually surprised it's as low as that again, but I feel like he's worth it too. I am leveraging a bit of our transfer budget in future seasons, but I do suspect that we'll be able to earn some of that money back because I think some of our players have gained so much value by us making so many cheap signings that we're going to be able to make that money back, especially if I can just sell Aquino. We're doing the deal for Kyriakou. The downside is that they insisted on a release clause of 10.5 million, which is annoying, but I feel like we can get rid of it, as I've got plans to with other players. But I feel like he's an important signing. I think he could be an absolute game changer in that spot because he's definitely going to be worth that when he joins us for sure, and it looks like he's willing to do so as well. 5.5 grand a week, but for me, he's going to be a brilliant player. Easily one of the best Cypriot players I've seen in years. Radebe, on the other hand, wanted barely any money and has gone for an 8-year deal, which is nice. No, he's been bullied off the ball though, and it's cleared. And Kouassi! What an effort from Sekou Kouassi. Örebro 1, Degerfors 0, and we lead in the derby, and this is a must-win game for us if we want to stay in contention for Europe. Come on! Anderson might even go himself here. Finds the run for Seeger. Seeger's in, and it is 2-0 at the very death. Oscar Seeger off the bench to do a job for us. Einerson looked good today. We have looked spectacular considering the quality of opposition. This is much more like it from us. That is much more like it from us. 22 shots, 11 on target, 2 goals. Thoroughly good performances all round from everybody involved. I actually played Ndai slightly deeper today. Lindstrom came off the bench, did fine. Cisse looked good. He's frustrating at times, but I feel like he just stretches teams and just makes us better with him in the side, even though Lindstrom is still a very comfortable force off the bench. But that's a really good 2-0 victory against the strong Degerfors side in the derby. Really happy with that. Wins like that make a lot of difference as, again, we start to creep closer and closer to those European spots. Our goal difference is climbing and climbing and climbing now. We now move 3 clear of Degerfors themselves, 8 points above Malmö. I still think the lowest we could possibly finish this season would be 8th spot, but I really do feel like there's a chance if we just keep putting our foot down that we're not even that far off of 2nd place, which is somehow still occupied by BK Hecken of all people. Kouassi Martin! Oh, how could he... Wait, penalty? Did he just handle that on the line? Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. We might be seeing a red card for deliberate handball. A yellow? It's a red card. Holy shit. Genuinely, that is the first time, I think, in my entire time of ever playing Football Manager that I've ever seen a player get sent off for denying a goal with his hand and a penalty given. That's incredible. I mean, I know that it happens in real life very rarely, but I didn't know it could actually be a thing in FM. Kouassi from the spot for us now. And of course it's saved. Of course, he delivers again. Martin, and this time it is in. The penalty was given from the last one we had like that, and Juan Martin gives us the lead. It's Örebro 1, Helsingborg 0, and they have 10 men. This is good for us. And I've got away with literally deliberately handling the ball. Get anything from this match, chaps. Right, I just can't anymore. They've done nothing in this whole match. Dudal again. Fires a cross in. And Dye's header! Yes! Örebro 2, Helsingborg 1. Arona and Dye with a huge goal. And what a cross from Dudal. 2-1. You can hardly say that we didn't deserve the win. and you now understand why I'd have been so livid had they actually got that equaliser and that counted as the winner. But what a cross from Dudal. What a lovely header from, of all people, Arona and Dai. The fact that we missed that penalty as well, but we got the victory, and we're looking a lot better creatively. Like, we're creating a lot more in matches at the moment. I know obviously in this game having an extra man definitely helped, but we've just looked better in general lately. Now we are really looking good. Up to 5th in the league. We've got 7 games to go, and we've already got 2 more points than we got in the entirety of last season. We are right back in this now. Unfortunately, though, we are about to concede a goal to Ben de Kock here, and there it is. Because as we know, those are always guaranteed goals. That's a bit of an unfortunate one. We've been good in the first 15 here, but then when you get guaranteed goals given like that, it's a bit, there's not much you can do about it, really. Oh, lovely ball inside for Ndai. She's the right pass. There's Cisse. He's broken it behind. Surely the shot's now coming from Babacar Cisse, and he's... No! For crying out loud! Sometimes he has to choose when not to dink. Ndai. Around the side for Kouassi. It's another ball for Cisse. Will he dink again? No, he's missed the target this time. Oh my god. And it makes us play better as a whole. We just need a guy that has the instincts of Cisse and the ability of Lindstrom. Oh, Dudal goes past the challenge. Martin's in there, and Seeger's on the rebound, and that one I think is going to be onside. It's Göteborg 1, Örebro 1, and we deserve that. We just keep sticking to our positions. The defenders have done well today. Although that right there is utterly pointless, and that could cost us. Just no reason for that pass. We've been so on top of it defensively today. Just don't let that be one stupid moment that costs this whole game for us. We've done everything right today. Slavkov from the spot. Goal. That one stings a lot. We were so good in this match. We deserved the win. The only way we conceded in this game was one of those guaranteed goal free kicks, and then a penalty, which we knew was going to happen. Because the thing is, our defense were actually really stable the whole game. They were winning every header that they needed to, making the simple passes every single time. And then just one time, they decided to play an aimless ball into the midfield to nobody. You almost know it's going to be a goal. Happy because we played so well away from home against a team like EFK Göteborg. It's just frustrating when you see that you don't get what you deserve from that. But if we continue playing like this now, we will. We would not have played like this earlier this season. Do you remember how bad we were in the first game against EFK this season? I think we've definitely turned a corner. That's the problem. That's the worst thing about that, is we remain 5th. If we'd have managed to get the win, we could have gone 4 points clear in 5th spot and actually been starting to catch up with 2nd. They are top of the league for a reason, and they were able to grind things out against us there. They didn't play that well, and they got the result. But we have had a few games like that this season ourselves, so it does kind of go swings and roundabouts. But I would say that our performance levels in the last sort of 5 or 6 games now have been consistently very good in every match, even if we're not quite getting what we deserve in front of goal. Well, here's our 5-star youth intake. Look at all these A-rated players, my friends. Look at them all. Oh, lovely stuff. So the best one, of course, is Albin Hellström, who's not ever going to play for this team because he doesn't have any of the, like, he's not a striker. He's not a winger that I can retrain as a striker because he's got nothing there. He's not quick. He's unambitious. He has no defensive strength at all, so he couldn't be a wing-back. Where's this wing-back I was told about? Is it this guy? Aid Nisic, who's slow as, well, a glacier. And again, unambitious. I mean, this is not a good youth intake. Disappointing, really. I think we were still the better side. They had one good chance in the entire game, and we had several ones ourselves, and that should have been a win for us, really. Really disappointing. I wanted to try and create a bit. We just didn't look quite as good in front of goal today. It just wasn't quite our day. Yeah, we slipped down to 6th now as Västerås go back above us, and there's only 2 points separating 5th and 8th. And the thing is, the most annoying thing is, I think, in the last 2 matches, I feel like we've been good enough to win both of them. And the fact that we've only taken 1 point when we should really be sat here on like 47 and looking extremely comfortable, or at the very least be sat on like 4 points from those 2 matches instead of 1. Kouassi swings across in. Martin's on the end of it, and it's 1-0 to Örebro after just 5 minutes. That's such an important goal for us to score, just to get that confidence back. Today is very much about confidence. We need it, and hopefully it's coming our way. Nice work, Kouassi. Martin's in behind again. Finds Cisse, and this time he does score. Finally, Örebro 2, Skövde 0. Cisse on the score sheet. Even he couldn't miss that one. There we go. Very comfortable victory for us, and thoroughly deserved. Martin's goal gave us the lead, of course, and then he sets up Cisse for the second one. Pretty straightforward result, and it kind of exactly what we needed right now. Midfield held the ball well. Makicek was called into action a couple of times, but did still make the saves. As in spite of the victory, we're now level on points with Hammarby, actually, as Västerås move into 4th spot. So I hadn't even considered Hammarby dropping down, but at the moment, actually, now we're only level there. So it's starting to get very, very interesting, and as another spot becomes available, which needs one good pass. Finds Kouassi. He could surely find one. Martin! Oh, it's in! Juan Martin, right on the stroke of half-time. Malmö 0, Örebro 1. And this could be big. I know I say that almost every goal, but there's other stuff going our way elsewhere that could really solidify us in 5th. Unless you could pull this back inside for Eb. Oh, what a chance for Juan Martin! It's 2! We have not deserved this, but Martin in the right place at the right time keeps us in that hunt. Car by Jorge. Over the top now for Juan Martin. Surely there isn't a hat-trick for Juan Martin. He's through around the goalkeeper. What a... Oh, it's in! It's 3-0 at the death here. What I would say is, since our second goal, we've been absolutely all over them and have had, well, just goals disallowed for days. Don't even know how that happened. So you can see just how much we were not in this match when we got our first and then second goal. But after that, Malmö clearly just went on to like all-out attack, and we were just breaking through them repeatedly, and it allowed so many... It was weird that those were on that side, because these were definitely both, as you can see, Oscar Seeger and Juan Martin, they were both very tight as well. We got through them so many times. We could have had 4 or 5. I was fully ready to say that we didn't deserve it, but in the end, we really did pull that one back and maybe just did about 3-0, obviously, definitely didn't deserve. But still, what a result for that. Hammarby came from goals down against Kalmar, unfortunately, and Västerås win again. But it does now push a 6-point gap between us and Djurgården, who somehow, despite winning the title last year, are going to miss out on Europe entirely this season. Like, we've dominated the first half an hour of this game. They've shown no... Oh, my God. In this game, we need 2 goals, and if we don't get it, then it's probably European out the window. Seeger's through. He's got to look back inside for someone. Dudau. Martin! And that's one of them. Örebro 1, Brommapojkarna 1, Juan Martin with the goal. Right, we need 10 minutes for one more of these, and we need to get it. And with that, I'd say our chances of getting Europe next year. I just can't believe that. So, yeah, they basically had... I mean, they obviously had a couple of other shots, but that was their only opening of the entire game. And unfortunately with that, I think any real chance we had of sneaking into Europe is pretty much gone. Because remember, the win here would have kept us right at pace with those guys. We'd have been neck and neck with those guys. Because, of course, Västerås went and won away at EFK Göteborg. Because, of course, they bloody did. But they did the thing that we were unable to do despite playing really well. It's frustrating as hell, as I'm sure you can imagine, when you're actually starting to look really good now. But we're just not getting the results to go with it. We're still looking good. And I think we'll still end up getting 6th spot at the very minimum, unless Degerfors pull out a miracle. But and we have now wrapped up a minimum of 7th. We're going to finish above Djurgården. Martin just needs one good run. The run is Kouassi. He's through a goal and he scored. It's Sekou Kouassi. This goal right here could mean huge things for Europe. We take the lead away at Västerås after a poor 35 minutes. I've changed a couple of things and we look better now. Just wasn't quite there. Oh, big tackle from Charlton. Oh, no. Now he's going to get red card as well. It's like I'm fighting against our own team a lot of the time. Is the decision-making is just appalling. We're going to be vulnerable to the counter-attack, and there's a great pass over the top. Keeper's coming out for it, and he's going to get dinked over. Oh, no! Make a decision! You know what? In the end, we've actually done pretty well to hang on to a draw there. We were fortunate to take the lead in the way that we did. It just feels like I'm fighting the team a lot of the time. Also, the injury to Dudau did not help us at all in any way. And yeah, it just wasn't our game. Luckily, we got a point, though. So that's actually a very good point and a very fortunate point. And it does kind of make up for some of the other points we've maybe didn't get. But still, I would have much rather just won the last game. As that now, it does still give us an outside chance of qualification, depending on what happens on the last day. We're at home against BK Häcken. So it is a winnable game for me, but it will heavily depend on who Västerås and Hammarby are playing. Because if we win and Västerås lose, we're in. If we win and Hammarby draw, we're not in. And that's the problem. We need one of these guys to lose and us to win. It's going to be very tough, but join me in a minute. Final day of the season. It's still all on the line. As much as I am sort of sat here thinking that we should have picked up a couple of extra points, we also got lucky with the point of Västerås. We shouldn't have maybe got the full win against Malmö. I think we still maybe could have deserved it. I think we're kind of about right. When you look at the stats quickly, you can see that statistically, 6th best this season. And that's exactly where we find ourselves. What I would say, though, is today's opponents are actually not... Well, they've overperformed amazingly by an insane amount, honestly. So I think we've still got to have the better of them. And I really do feel like we're perhaps just a slightly couple of extra defenders away and a good solid striker from being a title challenging side. We've averaged 2 points a game since the Kalmar match, the 5-1 victory. Over the last 11 matches, we picked up 22 points. We picked up 28 from the previous 18 before that. So there's a definite swing in our direction in terms of PPG, which is exactly what I wanted. We have to win and hope that one of them loses, basically. And I don't know. At least we've got the advantage of us being at home and then being away. Let's set this team up and get cracking. So changes definitely going to be made here. But yeah, changes have to happen. Going to bring Cisse back in. I tried Seeger for the last game and it just didn't work. Cisse, even if he's not playing well and scoring, he just seems to offer us stuff that allows other people to score goals sometimes. I think this is what we're actually going to try and go with. Dudau's not fully fit, but he has to start. It's the last game of the season. We just need to nurse him through this. We'll make sure we've got Stensson on the bench. You know what? I'm actually going to put Silvio Aquino on the bench, just in case we need a defensive option to hang on to a win. He's recovering from his broken ankle, you see. I have seemingly noticed a lot less empty benches today, which is kind of something, I suppose. Not that I've been paying that much attention, but for the most part, I've seen mostly full benches. I do wonder if it's just because the transfer window's now shut. They've now signed players to fill those squads up. I don't know. But needless to say, this is all on the line here. Like, I'd happily say, 6th is still a good result from where we've been. I think that's what we probably deserve. But if there's just the outside chance that we could sneak into Europe, we want to take it. So let's try and do it. I want to see us biting in at challenges and not going behind after 1 minute. I still think we've got the quality, but it's just whether we can actually exercise that quality correctly. As Garcia coming forward nicely, he finds Ndai, and What are the goalkeepers doing in this game? Arona and Dai equalises for us after 6 minutes, and I don't think either goalkeeper has covered themselves in glory so far, but at least we've basically back to square one with 85 minutes left. Ooh, Dudal through for Kawasi. He could go for goal here, and he has, and it's 2-1. Örebro 2, BK Häcken 1. Okay, your move, other teams. This is really, what a turnaround so quickly. That's a good idea, but actually Dudal's done brilliantly to win that, and then turn him in knots for a second, and Dai round the side. Cisse's in. Can he make it 3? Oh my god. This man, seriously. A third goal soon, and it could change a lot, as Martin's shot is well saved. Cisse can look back inside. He finds Einerson. Lovely work, and Dai. There's so many runners. One of them's Kouassi again. Could he go for another goal? Goes for Cisse, and it's tipped over the bar again. But we're just creating chance after chance in this first half. Slips into the channel for... Dudal's in. I don't think he'll be able to shoot from that distance, but that's fine. He can hold the ball up. Finds Cisse again, and this time he makes no mistake. It's 3-1 after half an hour. Oh, do we have the potential to do it on goal difference if we keep on pumping? We'd have to win 6-1, though. Dudal again, he's had a great first half. He might be tired, but bugger me, is he useful. Garcia can slip one through the channel again. Kouassi pops around the side. It's Martin again! Oh, he's at the post. It's kind of incredible, actually. The number of amazing chances we've had in this game so far, and somehow we've only created that much extra. It's very weird. Honestly, I just don't believe it. We've had some great chances one-on-one. But there you go. We are 3-1 up, and we are creating tons. And I might just open us up a bit more in the second half to just push for more. Other games are all still 0-0. We just need one goal. They just need one of them to lose, and we'll sneak into Europe at their expense. Half a yard, whips it through. Martin! Oh, it's well saved. Cisse again. Dudal blocks over the bar. Oh, and Dai straight in there brilliantly. Just needs the right pass. Finds another one. It's Cisse. He's in, and it's saved again. Slips into the channel. Eriksson, they've just walked away from him. This is probably going to be a goal now for them, isn't it? How come they can score them? How? Just come on, man. It's 3-2 out of nothing. My friends, it has happened. Shelina for AIK gives them the lead against Västerås. It is now ours to lose, and believe me, I have a horrible feeling we might. 1 minute 15 seconds left on the clock here. As things stand, we would sneak into Europe in 5th spot. We would be, unless there's a cup surprise. I don't think that would... Oh, imagine if we just didn't get Europe after all that. But it's got it selected, so I suggest that it does. John, big tackle from Kouassi. You need another big tackle, though. And it's popped through. Why is he in so much space? Oh my god. How did that happen, firstly? But thank god we've got away with it, and I think that's going to be it! Örebro 3, BK Häcken 2. Still have no idea how it was as close as it was, in a way. Like, we had so many chances, this didn't seem to count for much, but we've got the victory. The question is, did Västerås get a point? No, they didn't! We sneak above them in the 5th spot on goal difference on the final day of the season. We go 5th, and that will hopefully be enough to qualify us for the Conference League next year. Oh my good, and we're only 7 points off the league winners, which, by the way, is EFK Göteborg on the final day, despite drawing, as EK Sirius had a chance to win it, but bottled it on the final day as well. Wow, I can't believe we've done that. I'm certain that means Europe, right? What? Why is it highlighted in green? Does this mean that we're going to have to wait to see who wins the Swedish Cup and hope that it's one of these 4 teams? Because I have a horrible feeling Djurgården are about to screw us here and win the Swedish Cup or something. After all that, it might be meaningless. That being said, it's still not meaningless. We've come 5th this season, and that for me is a genuine achievement, considering where we were at one point and how it was generally looking. We've gained a lot of points over the second half of the year. That's made a massive difference to us. What's that? 25 points from our last 13 matches. No, 12 matches. So over 2 points a game during a lot of that second half of the year has made a big difference. 12 league games. 1 defeat in 12. Few draws in there, but that's so much better from us. Really, really happy with that. We look a lot better. And I think with the right signings going into next season, obviously there's no budgets yet or anything like that. We'll find out all about that in the next video. I think with the right striker and maybe some strength in the defensive side of things, this team could genuinely mount a title challenge next year. And that's exciting. And whether it'll be in Europe or not, I don't know. Oh, I forgot about the concept of the cup because it's like a year removed in Sweden because the cup, we're playing in the cup this at the moment, but it's for next season because the current cup holders are EK Sirius. And maybe that counts. I don't think it does, though. I think that counts for the upcoming season. I really don't know how it works. If you do know if EK Sirius are going to be the representative, then let me know because that means we would get it, but then it would already have told us that, wouldn't it? So, yeah, I think it could be a toughie for us next season, but still, oh man, that's been an absolute roller coaster today, my friends. A roller coaster. But if you have enjoyed it, drop a like. That would be fantastic. If you're new to the channel, subscribe too. That'd be glorious. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so go follow there too. And I'll see you guys very, very soon indeed. I'm not streaming tomorrow, by the way, though. I'm away, and I'll see you guys soon. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.